Hey guys, Lost Texan here, doing another project on the trailer. I'm going to install the underbelly protection and put some insulation in there as well to help protect those pipes and tanks from freezing up during these colder months when we're continuing to camp. My trailer didn't come with it. It's kind of a base model, so some of those things you don't think of as a new travel trailer owner definitely affect you down the road. And instead of selling this or trading it in and getting a different one with underbelly protection, it just made more sense to do it myself, especially after finding all the materials and seeing what it cost. There wasn't a lot of videos on this, so I decided to put a video together, and this is probably going to be a three-part video due to the time I have available to do it and with the weather cooperating with me. So just bear with me and I'll try to talk through each item. If you have any questions though, if I don't hit something or hit a topic that you have big questions about, just put it down in the comments below and I'll try to answer it the best I can. But I'll try to cover the materials, where I got them, how much they cost, and just the video of showing you how I did it. Obviously this project works a lot smoother if you have more than one person doing it, but as you'll see, I'm able to do it just by myself. So it's a very simple project. It just takes a lot of measurements and a lot of time to get it done and get it done right. But alright, y'all hang with me and we'll get this going. Hey guys, I'm gonna go over all the materials that I bought for this project. There's a couple that I'd already purchased from previous projects or whatnot, and tools and stuff that I already had. So that stuff is obviously not considered in the budget for this, but it is probably something that you will want. Alright, let's go. Okay, so for the most noticeable thing is this Coroplast. I purchased this from a sign shop. It's the same material, just so you can see, got the grooves there. Same material that is under any manufacturer's trailer for the most part that I've come across. This is a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet. I purchased 3 of these. One is still on the way during the filming of this video, and then since there was a bit of confusion, they handed me that piece, and I believe that's about a 3 by 8 piece. That was free, so that, once again, that's not in the budget, but I did purchase 3 of these sheets, the 4 by 8s, to complete this project, my trailer being 23 foot. So I figured that should be a max. 3 sheets should be enough, but they gave me that, so I may be able to do this project without even getting that extra sheet, so we'll see. The next thing is this insulation right here. As you can see, it's foil on one side and it's foam on the other. Just so, and I'll post this as well. Sorry. It's Artec Premium Engineered Insulation. This is like almost an inch thick, and if it says, I guess I cut it, one of the pieces says that it has a R value of 3.9. Obviously that is in the perfect scenario of a certain amount of space between each object using this insulation, but that's kind of give you an idea of what that value is if you have the perfect space. Just so you can see the width of it, and I'll get the tape measure here in a second. So you can see it's about right at an inch, a hair less than an inch thick. This is what I'm going to be using under the tanks, the gray, the black, and the freshwater tank. And then for the rest of the trailer, I'm going to use this Reflectix wrap. It's like bubble wrap with foil or whatever, that same material as what's on this right here, but and obviously they give you like a max of R21. Obviously I know that's not going to be the case. You see right here, gives you an R21, but
it depends on what you use it for and what the space is. So this is what is used. This is what is used on the trailers. So if a trailer comes from the manufacturer more times than none, this is the type of stuff that they put through just the whole trailer. And then they use heat sources to heat up the tank, whether it be heat ducts run through the underbelly or heat pads on the tanks themselves. But this is the type of insulation that they use, this Reflectix. I'm just adding that R Tech for the tanks, just because I'm not adding heaters, so that'll help give a little bit more insulation. But it obviously, heaters would be the ideal. So okay, the other items that you're going to want to need and possibly want to use, this multi-purpose adhesive. I'm going to use, I purchased that for some projects that I had previous to this, but it holds real well, so I'm going to spray that on this Coroplast and then apply the Reflectix and the R-Tech insulation to the board. That way the gap of air, the air gap, will be between that and the tanks, or that in the upper side of the underbelly. So, and then obviously you need a drill. And alright, quick update. I ended up having to go with these right here. These are a 12 by 1.5 inches, just because some of the areas have a few thicker pieces, so this allowed for plenty of bite plus then some. And then I bought these washers as well. Obviously box cutter and then a level. This is just kind of, I'm using this more for cutting straight edges or drawing straight edges when I have to cut things.
Alright, so just crawled under the trailer, get the correct measurements between the frame rails, measurements of the tank and whatnot. So you'll need to do the same with your trailer, find out what your measurements are. But once I got mine, I was able to get the correct measurements for the foam and the Coroplast, you know, and cut them to the correct measurements of what my trailer needed. You have to bear with me. I had this stuff in the garage and it's kind of tight in there with the cars and whatnot. But
alright, so I'm under the trailer, got the insulation cut out, and I'm about to fit the Coroplast under here and see how it fits. See if I need to trim it or whatnot. Alright, so if you'll see, I use that adhesive and I cut that foam out to the measurements of the gray and black tank, and then placed it on here with measurements of it being able to be centered once that extra little strip is added as well. See how it hangs out over here a few inches. That way that allows that on this side a few inches to be secured up to the rails, and then there'll be another piece added right here of the black Coroplast up under to be the full 58 inches that the width of the frame. So alright, I just got that pressed on, sprayed it down really well, and then placed that down foam side down, so the reflectant would be towards the trailer, at the bottom of the trailer. Alright, so right now, while that's curing, I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece. It needs about 9.5 to 10 inches, and I should be good to cover that whole frame area where I can drill up and secure that to the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I got my Sharpie, my level, my box cutter, and tape measure. And really the levels just make sure that my lines are staying straight and I get a good cut. But mainly the just box cutter, Sharpie, and tape measure is really all you need. Alright, as you can see, I have that extra 10 inches of Coroplast taped on there. The tape I used, I know it's white. I might get some black and just cover that bottom piece up, but it's that brand, and it was for outdoor use, so I feel like that's going to do a good job. I put about 3 strips overlapping each other, so that's a good solid secure piece. I don't think it's going to be going anywhere. Plus it's going to be screwed into the frame as well, so it shouldn't be going anywhere, and that should hold, and then I can trim that on the edges over there. Here. Alright, so now that I got that board done, I'm going to take this Reflectix, and I'm going to cut a 36-inch length, 2 of those, and then put that on the additional part of the Coroplast that isn't under the tanks, but it's still helping with the installation of the underbelly, or at least it helps trap that heat and keep that cold air out, so we're not freezing or as cold in the winter. So alright, I'm going to get to it. Alright. So I got my pieces. Lay them down as like so. Now that I got those 2 pieces cut, laying those down, and that way I'll obviously I'm going to spray adhesive and then put them down, but just so you kind of have an idea of how this bottom board's going to look, this should help a little, especially compared to what it has right now, which is nothing. So alright, let's get the gluing. Hey guys, back at it. The weather is holding off. It's cooler here, but the rain's held off for a little bit. So it's just going to go over starting to install it. Just wanted to show y'all real quick what I'm doing right now. If you'll see, I put this insulation here on the back side, the whole length. I had a piece, and if you'll, I'll take this off real quick since I don't have it mounted yet, but as you see, it's foil on one side, inch thick, about an inch thick, and I'm just placing it up in here, and see, if you look right there, that's where those tanks are. So if you put it the length of the trailer, but you didn't cover this backside, then you're gonna have air, one, escaping out this end here, and also all that heat. So to help trap that heat in there, or that keep that cold air out, I'm gonna install this insulation up in here, and then put a and that fits right in there nicely. So just put a, and then I can do that Coroplast, secure it on the bottom, and then do it up to a piece up here and kind of tuck it in right there. Maybe drill that in first, and then put this in, and then kind of make a C with that Coroplast, and then drill it in here with the additional piece going. So you can see I cut this piece right here. It's going to be the back end back there. Tuck the top in up top, drill it in, and then put the foam in, wrap it up around, drill it in, so that should be pretty stable. That's a like 58 inches, and then it's 10 inches width-wise. That way it gives enough to lap over. So obviously your trailer, your frame will be different, but just kind of give you an idea of, as far as this Cascade goes, that's the measurements. So, if you can kind of see from this angle, this is the board. There's a screw right there that I've screwed into the top part of the frame, and ideally this would tuck in there like so, and then you would bring that and then fold that over that frame piece and drill that in. And that way, that is completely enclosed. Just like so. Alright, I just wanted to show that back end after completing it yesterday. If you'll see, got that all the way, and then I just got one holding it right now until I get that bottom piece completely put on. But I have it all tucked in there. Nice. Blocking all the way up. So, shouldn't have any issues with keeping that air trapped in and what's in there, and keeping the cold out once I finish putting on the rest of it for the rest of the trailer. Alright, so you'll have to bear with me with the jungle-like grass that we got going on here. It's been raining, so the grass is growing faster than I'm able to cut it. That's the excuse I'm using and sticking with. Alright, so I got this panel. Got this panel right here. I put it up against in here, so it's kind of, this will block off the black and the gray tank with that foam, so they'll give it a nice blocked off area to just kind of hold in, trap that air in, and keep the cold air out. And what I've done is I've taken some of that Coroplast. I just cut little strips. They're not perfect, but I'm gonna put in like 4 of them along the length of it. Just secure them to the top, secure them to the bottom, just kind of like I did the backside. But since this is going to be enclosed in the whole part of the belly, I didn't feel that this needed to be actually enclosed completely from the other part. So I figured just these little strips would hold that insulation in there, and it wouldn't fall down or anything, but it'd help keep that barrier in. So, all right. All right, so as you can see, it's starting to get dark up in here, but this is what I'm talking about. I secured one so far just so everyone could see what I'm talking about as far as using those straps periodically down. So take this one down here, just like so. I got about 4 of them, so there'll be one down there, one in the middle, one right here, and then one for this small section of piece that I needed to add on. So alright, to give you a better view, step back a little bit, but as you can see, got that piece up in there, and then I'm going to have those strips secured to the frame, holding that in place, just so that kind of helps make that a little pocket in there with the tanks. And then of course the Coroplast will go the whole length of the underbelly, or at least covering this open section right here as well. So, alright, gonna move on. Hey, while doing this, I found something, unfortunately. I had to cut this in 2 pieces because of the axle gets in the way with the propane lines that are already in there. These right here get in the way, and then the axle and the wiring. So it's best just to cut it into 2 pieces plus you got all that over there that I got to deal with. So cut it down in 2 pieces. I'll put this piece up in here, secure it, and then continue on with the next piece as I cut it down. All right, so here goes.
Alright, while putting this up, I had a little trouble at first getting this up because one, I'm doing it by myself, and I didn't have anything holding the other four corners of this up. So I'd recommend either you have another person help hold it up while you drill it in, or you get some kind of device to help hold it up on the other ends. Once I had it in though, it was really easy to just secure each, every so often put in another screw with a washer. Now obviously it goes smoother with a person, but it's very doable by yourself. Also down here on the back end, when I finally got this all secured up with the screws, I had made it a little bit longer because I wasn't sure how I was going to close that off. So I ended up just cutting that last little bit off, that little lip off. And then I went back and I added some of that outdoor tape, black, just to kind of keep any water from dripping down and kind of making its way to the underbelly. And then this area right here, I just, I took a box cutter and I just trimmed it. I kind of did a big chunk at first, and then I just, trimmed it perfectly once I got it up there. And then I also used the leveling jack screws to help secure the underbelly protection in there as well. So a lot of manufacturers, they use some kind of foam in the around the areas that they cut. So I went and got Great Stuff insulation foam sealant and just put it around the areas that I had to cut out of the Coroplast. All right, so now you can see all that foam. It's up under there and it's blocking it, any escape of air or allowing anything to really get up in there. It doesn't look too pretty, obviously, but it's getting the job done. And then I'm going to take some paint and paint that black so that blends in a little bit better so it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. Alright, I'm going to call this phase 1 of completion. A few areas I got to touch up or scrape off. No big deal. And then we'll get up under here. Alright. So I sprayed in there last night, all the way down, kind of helping seal that off. And then obviously I'll won't need to paint that or anything, and I'll put a piece that'll continue on going the length of the trailer, or continue going the length of the trailer. But that way that area of the tanks is sealed off. Nothing's going to be getting in there. Still have the length of the trailer to go. And obviously the freshwater tank. And I'll touch base on how I wrap those lines up there as well. That was done. That was like one of the first things that I did, so I'll definitely go over that as well. Alright, that concludes part 1 of the install of the underbelly protection. If you have any comments or questions, just leave them down in the comment section below. If you liked the video, please give me a like, and please stay tuned for the next videos to come and get this project finished up. Alright, thank you.